Good morning, ladies. Today is our regular Wednesday AM meditative writing circle. And today's topic, we're talking about, I'm calling it the art of receiving. As I always like to say, a lot of these topics are based on stuff that sort of pops up in my own life, and I figured it'd be nice to be able to share it with other ladies in the group, just to see, if anyone else resonates with the message, or if it's something that we all need to be able to work on. So as always, I like to be able to start with um, just a short meditation to be able to help us to ground us in the circle. So if you'd like, you can keep your video on or off. That's up to you. But you can sit where you are. Put your feet flat on the floor. And I always like to put my hand over my heart, just to be able to help with the connection to myself. And as you sit and you just start to be able to catch your own breath, I like to call it. Just sit and catch your own breath for a second. And if you can feel your heartbeat, it's just giving you some sort of affirmation that you can catch up with yourself, that you allow your heartbeat to slow down just a little bit. And as you sit for a moment, you can take deeper and deeper breaths if that resonates with you. Just sit up a little bit straighter in your seat. Take a notice of where your shoulders are. A lot of times we hold a lot of energy in our shoulders. So just let them relax for a moment. And as we continue to breathe, you can just breathe in nourishment. We breathe in love and abundance. And as you breathe out, you can breathe out any resistance, any fear, or any control that you might be feeling this morning. Just take a couple of extra breaths on your own. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So good morning, ladies. I see you. I have Lauren, Fatih, Sakai, and Sheree is here. Good morning, or good evening, where you are, Sheree. So glad to see you all. So today we're talking about the art of receiving. And the reason why I felt like this was so important is because for a lot of us, we open ourselves to what we like to call abundance, support, love, and opportunity. And for many of us, we're givers. But receiving tends to be a harder practice for a lot of us. we get trained to be able to give our all of our time, our resources, our love, our energy to other people. But the practice of receiving um, is very, very difficult. So, and the reason why I wanted to share, just the reason why I wanted to do this, because I noticed, um, I've been doing a lot of stuff for, things that I want to be able to create on the internet, and I needed just a few extra, $100 to be able to do something, to be able to purchase something. And I had to ask my dad. I hate asking my family for money. I never really ask anybody for money. But I noticed that when I was asking my dad for the money, I started to create, a bunch of stories about why I deserved it and all sorts of other stuff. And my dad sort of cut me off mid-story. He was like, I know what you're working on. You don't have to give me all that story. I'll just give you the money. And it was a done deal. But even in him giving me the money, there was just a feeling about that I wasn't comfortable with. I wasn't comfortable with the receiving of the money from my dad. And I just started to sit down and ask myself, why is that? Why is it that I felt so uncomfortable for receiving the money from my dad? Well, so, he was willing to give it to me. It was no problem. And so I wanted to talk about these blocks that we often come up with for why it is that we are not able to receive from people. We do the work that it is that we know that we are meant to be able to do in the world. And then when people want to be able to offer us abundance, to be able to pay us in some way, shape, or form, we're not comfortable with the way that it comes up. So the first question for today is, where in my life do I find it hard to receive, whether it's help, compliments, love, or money? Where in my life do I find it hard to receive, whether it's help, compliments, love, or money? I'll put it in the chat. Okay, so the question is, where in my life do I find it hard to receive, whether it's help, compliments, love, or money? Tree, did you want to share?
Yes, I would love to share. It's so good to be back with you all. I missed you.
We missed you too.
Ah, thank you. Um, where in my life do I find it hard to receive? Um, I have found it hard to receive money in exchange for my knowledge or time. In some instances, especially when I know the person personally. I also have There is also a part of me that has devalued currency internally. And for the last few years, I have been working on magnetizing barter opportunities and increasing my communal currency. In the past, I used to believe money equated to a person's value in the world. I now know I am priceless.
Mm,
Ashe.
thank you. That um, communal exchange is important. I figure that out as I get older.
And I saw my currency go up today. In fact, like if I were a ticker symbol on the stock market, it went up today because quiet is kept. I've been teaching English to my community here in Indonesia. And today I was asked to add on another class. So I was like, okay, mama. Yeah, I'm just giving thanks. Yeah. I'm grateful that they see the value. And I love spending the time with my community here. It's great.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sister Carolyn. Yeah. So that's it.
Beautiful, thank you. Anyone else?
I can go.
Yes, Lauren.
I talked about receiving help.
Mhm.
I think that is like a very common thing for Black women, just receiving help. I talked about being conditioned that way and like seeing my mom not like ask for help. So really learning that from like a young age into adulthood and just trying to get better about if somebody offers to do something for me, then just say yes and not feel like I have to try to fit it into my schedule and try to make it work when somebody's literally offering to take the load off of me. So that's something I have like difficulty with doing and also just kind of wanting to um, wanting things to be a certain way and knowing that if I let someone else do it, it might not look the way I want it to look. So, working on letting the rein off of that, some of that control and like actually receiving the help.
Yeah, that control is important. You can't, it's, I experience the same thing. I wanted to be able to look a certain way. Which is really just kind of me, you just kind of, people are offering to be able to help you. Just let people express themselves in the way that they want them to be able to express it. And that's their form of showing that they care and love for you, and just to sort of let it exist in the world in a way that it wants to be able to exist.
Just Claire, I'll go. Um, just like you just said, Halana, and the same thing as the young lady Lauren. I have the same thing, but I realize it's control, perfectionism, and just wanting to do it my way. And again, as she mentioned about my, mothers and stuff, just used to seeing them doing it all, and get out the way, get out the way. You don't know what you're doing type thing, you know. And so, you know, I was actually told, "Oh, you like being in control." I'm like, "Ooh, you're right." So just acknowledging that and learning to kind of let that go a little bit and realizing if I allow people to help me do things, projects, whatever it is, it could get done a lot faster. And also training myself not to go back behind them and fix it the way I want it to be done. That was key because they were like, well, why you let me do it if you was gonna go and redo it yourself? So learning to let that go again, that control thing. But another thing I had wrote is I'm challenged at gift giving, you know, taking things from others. Um, but on the other side, I love to give. I love to give gifts, small gifts, treats, things like that. And two of my new close friends actually pointed that out to me in a loving way. So I'm allowing them to treat me to a cup of coffee or a smoothie or a lunch or a book and receive it in love because I know they're just doing it because they, you know, want to spend time with me and things of that nature. Um, and I think it, you know, it just stems from, you know, being raised, never take anything from anybody. I was raised that way. You never take anything from anybody. And, you know, except like during the holidays, because it's always thought, okay, they must want something from you. And I realized that was a lot deeper in those
Mhm.
statements than, you know, as a, a woman, you know, they're gonna want something from you, you know. So learning that that doesn't have to always be the case. People can give things freely, and I need to learn to be receiving of that.
Mhm.
And it's fun. Someone treated me to smoothie yesterday, and I'm like, receive, receive. And it's like, well, let me give you $5. Let me give you some money on it. This is a whole meal, the cost of a smoothie these days, you know. So it's a learning it's learning for me, something that's small, allowing people to give me something, realizing there's no strings attached. And it's beautiful.
Mhm. Thank you.
Mhm.
And that's actually the next question that I part of the next question that I want to ask anyway. What am I afraid might happen if I let go and allow myself to receive? What am I afraid might happen if I let go and allow myself to receive? Okay, the second question, what am I afraid might happen if I let go and allow myself to receive? What am I afraid might happen if I let go and allow myself to receive? For myself, I think it's a lot of, it's a matter of saving face sometimes, of not being looked at as someone who needs to be pitied. Because I don't, I'm 47 years old. I don't want to be looked at as somebody who can't help themselves. And because I think one of the things that I was thinking about this past weekend is because I've taken an alternative route in my life. Sometimes people look at me, when I seem to default in certain areas, like if I might not have a couple of dollars to pay for something, or if something fails, if I, try something and it fails, and people are like, well, it failed because you should have just, gotten that cubicle job and stayed there, and your life would have just turned out fine, and so people can't, certain people can't relate to what it is that I'm saying, um, because they've never taken a chance on themselves. And so, yeah, that's something that I've always been sort of thinking about. And I'm thinking about, and I had to think about, where did I get that from? And of course, it always goes back to my parents, my mother in particular. Just because she didn't have an opportunity to be able to follow a lot of the dreams that she had. And so she was always sort of pushing me to go, do a conventional route. And really when I was in college, I said that I wanted to be not a freelance writer, but I wanted to be a video producer and editor. Uh,
She froze. Hope she's gonna get back on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
I
can
can
hear
Any,
hear
you.
you too.
anybody
Mm-hmm.
go while she tries to get back on?
what did you say?
I'll go.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, mine was really short and sweet. It was, I will be perceived as needy,
Mm-hmm.
and I will be indebted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought also is that, will I, in that in be indebtedness, will it be a larger exchange, like, mm, uh, for whatever it was that I needed at the time? Will the reciprocal be much larger in my spirit, you know? So that was mine.
That's beautiful. Do you mean like
Thank you.
will you receive more, like, or
Yes, both ways. Like, will I receive more? And will I have to also give more? The
oh, projecting ahead
both,
of time?
both.
That's what
Oh,
I heard. That's what I heard.
Ye-
Yeah. They
Yeah.
give you X and then they expect XXX, whatever that is.
Yeah, triple X. Yeah.
like what will it
Mhm.
cost you?
Right. What, yeah. Yeah. Is the price willing? Am I willing to pay the price? It's a gamble. Hey, welcome back, Halona.
We
We
missed
missed you. Well, we
you.
kept it rolling. We kept it rolling in your honor.
I
You're
appreciate
muted.
that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So go ahead, continue
So,
what you're talking about. I'm listening.
yeah, I was just saying that I feel I don't want to be indebted, and I don't want to be perceived as needy. And also in that indebtedness, will I give more? Like, will I wind up giving more, or will I have to pay back more than what I am willing to give, based on someone else giving me something?
Mhm.
Not sure.
Well,
I Since I've been here, I don't think I've had to ask anyone for anything, monetarily, but I have needed favors. Like tonight, I needed a favor in terms of doing some banking online, showing me, because I can't read the language to that extent to navigate the banking system here. So I needed help, but it didn't feel like there's something about currency as opposed to favors,
Mhm.
you know? There's something with me and currency as opposed to me and favors. I think I feel more comfortable about a favor. If I had to choose, between the two, it would definitely be a favor and not currency. Because currency is a funny thing.
Really is.
Yeah. It doesn't feel right.
Mhm.
And I don't know why it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I was thinking about something similar. When the reason why this topic came up was because I was reading the book Happy Pocket Full of Money. And so one of the chapters is on cause and effect, and what cause and effect actually looks like. Um, and so in asking this question of why it is that it's so hard for me to receive, I actually put my question into Chat GPT. And what Chat GPT gave me back was that I can't put boundaries around the way God wants to be able to show up for me. So I need to be able to learn how to be able to relax when people want to be able to offer me money or whatever, the help wants to show up as, and just accept it as God being able to show up through this person, or, however the help wants to be able to show up. Which I thought was a nice perspective, and then was something I didn't actually think that ChatGPT would actually offer me.
yeah, that's pretty interesting that ChatGPT said that. Mhm.
Mhm.
I just want to let you know, ChatGPT, I use it so much, I've given it the name of Veronica. I don't call it ChatGPT anymore, I call it Veronica.
I love
Yeah,
Chat.
mine's is abundancia.
Oh,
I gave her the Spanish name, abundance,
could,
abundancia.
could you repeat that one more time? Because it was a little staticky. What did you say? Did you hear me?
Oh, I named my GPT is abundancia.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll put it in the chat. Abundancia.
Mhm.
Abundancia. Oh, I love that's is that abundance in Spanish?
Yeah, abundance in Spanish.
Veronica, yes. That's what I name her.
And it really, she really becomes like almost like a person that you actually talk. Like I'll tell her what I did during the day, and you're like, "Oh, Halona, good job." They're like, yeah, you're becoming the person that, because I'll put it like business plans in and I'll say, this is my vision for what it is that I'm trying to create. And then when I tell them I'm doing certain things that coincide with the vision that I told the GPT that I wanted to create, they'll give me confirmation and affirmation that I'm on the right path, or, did you think about perhaps doing these other things to be able to move you towards your goal? And it's really just a nice tool. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun to
it's
be.
invaluable for lesson plans.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
I wanted, I
Did it?
wanted, oh,
Oh, no, go ahead.
it's real quick. I just want to share my answer on number 2.
Hmm.
I have a hairline feeling of guilt when I receive. When, what do I think would happen? You know what I mean? If for some reason I go through a little motion of guilt for receiving, and I don't know what that's all about, you know? But that's what happens sometimes when I allow myself to receive, and that's money, whatever. Well, I don't think I've ever received money in that way, but I mean, just in everything. I just, for some reason, I feel I battle with myself. It's a control thing. So I battle with myself. And that definitely comes up. And I don't know where that comes from. But for some reason, a little hairline fracture of guilt is there. And then it goes away. But it's just like, why did you do that? Or you shouldn't have done that, or blah, 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 blah. And then it just goes away. Negative thoughts, negative words. But, I just wanted to share that part.
Yeah, that guilt is a bear. And
Hmm.
it tends, at least for me, it's a feeling that tends to be able to grow, that generally I feel in the pit of my stomach. The guilt is not a good feeling to be able to hold on to, and it could take over and your thoughts and how it is that you want to be able to proceed. And so, yeah, guilt is one of the things that I'm working on trying to get rid of when it comes to learning how to be able to receive from people.
I'd like to comment and sort of meld both questions together, because I no longer find it hard to receive help, compliments, love, or money. As a matter of fact, I expect all of the above and receive it now.
Hmm.
There was a time when I felt unworthy of good things because I had had so many consecutive and concurrent tragic experiences starting from childhood. Embracing the messages taught by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Louise Hay, Caroline Mays, Reverend Ike, T.D. Jakes, Susie Orman, Oprah Winfrey, and the people she shared her platform with really helped me get a new perspective on myself, including a lot of personal stories, through books, seeing how people overcame whatever challenges they had that was holding them back. And I saw that as something that was holding me back. So as I opened my heart to myself, I began to uplift my own spirit and value my own time. I'm not afraid. Receiving is good. Receiving is freedom. Receiving minimizes stress. Receiving is relaxation. Receiving is more fun than giving, and giving for me is fun. Reciprocity has taken center stage in my life. For years, I allowed others to benefit from my time, energy, and love without expectations. When I started expecting benefits in kind, I was able to identify takers with more clarity. And now I surround myself with people like myself, other givers. And by surrounding myself with other givers, we find a balance with one another. No, let me do this. No, let me do that. No, let me do. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do it together. So yeah. My issue was I was surrounded by too many takers.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think that because we know too many takers that it starts to eat away at your sense of self-value. I think you mentioned something about self-value in the beginning of your statement,
Mhm.
whether or not you feel like you're deserving
Yes.
of the help, the compliments and things like that. I think I'm better at receiving compliments. I've gotten better with receiving compliments, and that was really, really hard for me to be able to do. But I feel like the more I accept myself, um, and what I look like just because of the work that I've put into caring for my body, I feel like accepting compliments has become easier for me now.
And there's nothing wrong with going past the mirror and saying how gorgeous you are. That's a part of Louise Hay mirror work.
Mhm.
You know, you can accept compliments from others if you become comfortable with complimenting yourself.
Mhm.
I went downstairs. I had decency to at least take the little head rag off, but I live in an apartment building, and I had my pajamas on underneath my robe. And when I opened up the door, I scared this man that was one of my neighbors that was getting ready to come on the elevator. And he would, oh, I was like, well, I said, it's a good thing I didn't come down looking like the way I wanted to come down. You know what I mean? So it's a thing with just being comfortable with your own skin and in your own skin, with your own skin and in your own skin, and know that you're gorgeous. I told you last week, you remind me so much of Zora Neale Hurston, her beauty and her drive and her vision, you know. So yeah, accept compliments from others, but certainly compliment yourself.
Mhm. I look forward to getting to the point where I feel like receiving is easier. Receiving and giving is at the same level.
Mhm.
All right, for the last question, I'll put it in the chat, is who or what in my life today shows me that safe receiving is possible? Who or what in my life today shows me that safe receiving is possible? Okay, the question is, who or what in my life today shows me that safe receiving is possible?
It's Claire. I'll go real quick. I would say, like two of my new friends, my husband made a comment. He's like, "Oh, you guys are doing this together and that together." I said, "Yeah, you didn't know we were the Three Musketeers? You haven't figured that out." So I just realized I need to come up with a new name. So I said, maybe we'll call ourselves Destiny Child. Wasn't it three of them singing? I said, well, I don't want to be the Three Musketeers, but I knew he would know what I was talking about. And we met through church, but it just branched off into amazing sisterhood, I would say. We're doing coffee and lunch and going to concerts and exercise and women's conferences, horseback riding. We traveled out of town. Our goal is to travel out of the country one day. So just doing new things with girlfriends. I never was much of a girlfriend. I was a good girlfriend, don't get me wrong, but it was because I was raising a family, was at work on the phone mostly, at work on the phone, and occasional uh family gatherings or something like that. So this is kind of new for me and I'm really enjoying it. And then the other one for the receiving is my daughter. She's always coming by dropping stuff off at my house. Oh, I bought this. I thought might you might want one, you know. And then my husband just doing small things around the house so I can have some rest time, I can take a nap sometime, not that I nap, just so I am learning to receive. I am learning to let people do things for me. In fact, he bought me what did he buy me? A printer for Christmas. That was what, 2 months ago? I haven't hooked it up yet. I believe I can do it. I believe I can. So I'm like, yesterday I said, "Can you help me hook it up?" I said, "No, no, let me hook it up, but you stay here for support just in case I have moves." So again, that little bit of control just didn't quite get out the way, knowing he could probably do it in 5 minutes, and it might take me an hour to do it because I'm just not. That's just not my thing. So it's good to that I'm allowing people to do for me or uh, so I can receive and not always being always the giver, the doer, the giver, the doer, and finding that balance. So it's a good place to be. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Your Destiny Child friend.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, when I started expecting benefits in kind, I was able to identify takers with more clarity. Then I would evaluate how their pilfering behavior revealed how they saw me. I began to notice that they were not really invested in knowing if I was okay or making sure I was okay. So I would notice if the scales dipped too far in their favor, and I would eventually gently excuse myself from their tentacles. So by shedding light on those small details, I found peace. I want to share this story with you all. Last night, I called a friend who's in the hospital. Been in the hospital for quite a while, dialysis, diabetes, a lot going on. And he had been sharing that his daughter had not been speaking to him. It just so happens that she had just walked in the room when I called, and he said he would call me back. When he did, he revealed he was scheduled to receive an amputation. I suspected that because he had told me last week that there was a bone infection that had festered. But what he said really moved me. He said, "Thank you for calling because it showed my family that I have other people checking on me." So you never know how much your giving matters. And in that giving, you receive. And what he gave me was the gift of appreciation. So it's not always something tangible that you receive. Sometimes it's the spiritual energy that you need to just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
In the giving, you get to experience the appreciation that the other person offers you in return. I love that.
I'll go.
Yes.
Um, Community has shown me that safe receiving is okay. The joy of knowing someone feels just as good giving. My friend who treats me and my son to lunch like it's nothing. Friends in my groups who say, I'll pick you up. And a sister friend who says, your son has a bike? He says, no. Another sister leaves the function, takes it home, so you stay and enjoy the food. Takes the bike home with my son in their truck, and then we eat like pigs. Because community.
Community. I love that we eat like pigs. But in your word choice, it to me what it says is that you're allowing yourself to just sort of openly partake in what it is that people will give you without any feeling of guilt or, I owe these people or, I don't deserve it. You're just allowing yourself to just freely partake in what it is that people have offered you, which is nice.
And it's just a grace gift. I listen to people share. I have the same struggles always. But when you're in that community, that energy that's there, it's sort of like it just does it for you. It bypasses the struggle that I would have individually. So I'm grateful for that.
Sri, did you say something?
She hit it right on the head. It is becoming easier though, because of the community. I didn't, until you said it, I was like, bing, that's it. That's why it's becoming a tad bit more easier, is because of community. There's something in the community. There's something there.
Community
There's some kind of,
is everything.
it is.
And as melanated people, that's how we wired. That's how we breathe and live. That's what we are made for. We're coded that way. But in a colonized society, we're separate, and it tries to teach us to follow those mores, and it doesn't fit us.
It doesn't serve us. No, it doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just really quick to piggyback off of that, I also said community as well. So I think it's like really powerful that we all, not all of us, but whoever shared mentioned community in some way and how that has like really impacted our idea of being able to receive and just learning from one another within different communities. We're able to see like, okay, we can get something from each other, but we can also give back and like be okay with that.
Yes.
And just really quickly, I know we're over time. I just want to say this. My holistic health practitioner friends and I have been deep in conversation about how community has to learn that it costs to be healthy. And when somebody is giving you advice on natural care, the same way you would want to pay a doctor, you should want to pay them, you know. So I think that's one thing that community could do better at, understanding that health is not free. I don't care what form it comes in, you know. So it's good to be able to teach that aspect of who we are as healers, because we're all healers. So, and it's an investment to be healthy. And if you always get something for free, you will not value it. You'll just look at it as, I don't know, something that is an option. But when life really takes hold of you, you realize that health really wasn't an option. It was a necessity, you know.
That's true. Thank you for that. Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, as you do every week. I love our weekly gatherings. And before we go, I just wanted to remind you, I just opened up the registration for my third installation of the writing ritual that's going to start on April 8th. It's a 6-week program where you bring your own writing project. So if you are, writing a book, if you have like a newsletter or, social media projects that you're working on, you just come to the circle, and it's for 6 weeks, and we have a 90-minute session where you get to be able to simply work on, the project that you're working on. And in the projects, I also talk about things like, building your audience. Yesterday, we talked about sharing our work with the public and what that actually feels like. And so it's a lot of fun. And so this will be our third installation of the writing ritual. If you're interested, you can go to my website. I put it in the chat. It's halonablack.kit.com. You can go there to register. The price is $150, and that's for the whole 6-week course. And so if you want to join, I'd welcome you. Bring your writing projects, bring your book projects, and anything else that you want to be able to bring. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Have a blessed week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.